All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is Scott, and welcome to the weekly trade report video. Today is July 23rd, 2017. So first up, just want to say apologize for last week's trade report video. I actually just basically forgot to do it, and there was a lot of stuff going on Sunday, and so I do want to apologize for that. But still living in a hotel, and we should be moving into our new house around August 1st time frame. So that'll be good to get out of this hotel. But anyway, let's get to the markets. There's some really good sector setups for next week, particularly the biotechs and the marijuana sector. So really feeling good about next week, and we'll talk about all those trade ideas next. So first up, the Dow Jones, you can see still just kind of stair-stepping higher. You know, all this Trump news and so forth hasn't seemed to really affect the market indexes. I guess there's lots of good earnings coming out of the bigger companies, so the market just remains pretty resilient at this point. And so, you know, the market just continues to grind higher and looks good. SPY also, you can see, broke out above this recent high, 245 area, and now sitting right near all-time highs or above all-time highs. IWM, similar story. Finally broke out through this 142 area resistance and came back and tested it on Friday, and so it's just right above there too. So the markets still remain resilient, still looking good. So the IBB, the biotech sector, looks really good here, guys. You see how it had this big breakout, and if we go back, back here to this 300 spot was a key breakout. And it broke out, and then it just kind of pulled back, which is normal. You get a pullback and some profit taking and a rest, and then it ramps back up, which is what you want to see. And now it's breaking out to new highs, so that's good to see that. Give me 1 second, real quick. Okay, so the biotechs, you can see breaking out to new highs. Lots of good setups in that sector, and we'll talk about a few of those, but very, very strong biotech action lately. Energy sector, still difficult to tell. It looks like it may have put in a double bottom down here around 64. You can see it tested it, and then it failed to follow through and break below this recent low, and it kind of ramped back up. So energy sector may be trying to bottom out. There is some decent action in a few names, but still a little bit too early to tell. But there is some decent action starting to form in some of the energy names. So maybe this long downtrend here is starting to kind of reverse and start to turn up. And if we look at kind of a trend line from the peaks like that, you can see, you know, this was kind of the first break through this trend line the last couple days. So maybe it could be trying to reverse down here. So the energy sector may be trying to bottom. We'll keep an eye on that. Financials still look pretty good. Some resistance right up here, and just starting that stair-stepping higher. So the financial sector does look good as well. All right, so let's kind of talk about a couple trades. STLD it kind of did what I thought it was going to do, but I didn't really make any money on it because it took a few days to do it. And so, but looks this 37 spot was the area I was watching for a breakout, and you know, I think I entered it back on this day here, thinking it was going to break 37, and it just took a few extra days to actually do it. And I did think I make a little bit on this one. I don't think I made very much, but it finally did break, and it's still hanging out there above 37.50. I think they had earnings too. So, but anyway, this one looked pretty decent. It's STLD. I do think this one could go higher. Just not a fast mover. So keep that in mind. It's kind of a larger cap name. But the next spot on this one would be this 38. So if it can get through 38, that'd be an even more critical level for this STLD. And some of the other still names look pretty decent, like Nucor. Nucor's another one. Looks like it may be trying to turn up. SCHN. Yeah, so SCHN looked pretty decent right around this break here, but so steel names look okay, but not the top watch for this week. Like I said, top watch is biotechs in the marijuana sector. So okay, let's go through some of the names from the watch list, see what happened there. Okay, so ERF, this was an oil play, and you can see it broke right there through that resistance level, and looks like it's holding above that. So this is where you're starting to see some of these energy names kind of after bottoming out, starting to turn up. So ERF is one of them. Not one that I traded, but just one that was on the watch list. Okay, SIRI, this one looks fantastic. This is a perfect ascending triangle. If we take a look back at this recent high back in March, kind of draw a line across right around 550 spot. Right, you can see that tested it, ramped up, pulled back, tested it, put in a higher low, and so you get this coiling effect. And here's the lower trend line. And so this one I would expect to get through 550 sometime next week. So this is a really A plus setup for next week if you're looking for a trade. This SIRI looks great through the 550 spot. So a couple other ones that look pretty good. Let's see. So this is Sirius XM radio. Okay, so let's take a look at, this is a bio from the watch list, A-Bus. It's a thinner name, similar kind of pattern. Here's the ascending triangle type. You can see the test and the pullbacks are shallower and shallower and tighter. So this one looks like it could go next week as well. It's ABUS. Like I said, it's a thinner trading, $100,000 volume day average, so you'd want to see some relative volume come on, but nice pattern. Okay, CENX, another one. Here's the, I was on the watch list for a 16, 17 area break, and you can see it, I got all the way to 18, so we had a nice dollar breakout. And looking for a potential target, you could basically use this level here, so 15 to 17, that's 2 points, so that'd give you a 19 target on this breakout. But that was a nice move there on CENX. Okay, GTXI, this is a biotech, and it looks fantastic for next week. Right around this area here, this 570, 570, 575 area. You can see how it kind of broke through there, but opened up at that area, pulled back, tried to broke it intraday, and then closed right near 570, pulled back, tested it again, and then now it put in a shallower low. So this one, I do think this one could go from, break through this 570 and shoot all the way up to this area up here, the recent highs. Yeah, so right around 627, 630. I think this one's going to go there next week, especially if the bios continue to rally, which it looks like they are. But I really like this GTXI. Keep a close eye on that one. IMDZ. This is another fantastic looking biotech, and it closed right. I think it closed right below 10 or right in this area. Must have been an after hours price here because it closed up here, I think, right at 10. And this is just a perfect bull flag. If we take a look at this chart, big breakout, pullback, another big breakout, and then this kind of sideways action, testing this 10 area. Just another nice bull flag forming. Just a continuation pattern in an uptrend. You can see, if we go back, say a year, the key level was at 840, and once it broke that, just kind of flagging out. So IMDZ is definitely a top watch for Monday. It looks fantastic, guys. So keep an eye on that one for a 10 break. I think it's going to go. BLPH, another bio. Watch this 160 spot as a key resistance right here, and looks like 160 could break next week if the bios continue to rally. BCLI is one that I did make money on this one a while back on this 440 area break, and then I just got out of it because it pulled back. And but the pattern was there, and it did have a nice breakout. So if we go back right there at that 450 spot back here, and you can see as it started to kind of grind up, this one had a nice break on Friday. I guess they had news or something, but you know, the pattern was telling the story that this thing was going to make a move. I just happened to be out of it, but I did make money on the trade, the one that I traded a couple weeks ago. But so anyway, if you guys caught this one through 460 or held it, then you've got this big gap up. So this one, another one, looks like it's going to go higher from here. DRNA, nice breakout, spot at 340. You can see right there, boom, tested it again. False break, tested it. So it had this 340 area, and then on this day was the first break, and so then you had another spot up at 360, and you can see the volume on Thursday and Friday, very nice volume, and had a nice follow-through day, up 13%. Right, so nice bottoming pattern here, and then on that break, just continued to, you know, nice push. So just a great looking chart, great looking pattern, and congrats if you caught it. Okay, PTN, another fantastic biotech setup through 45. This is a smaller name. You know, I think maybe it trades 1 million shares, but that's not much money when you're in the stock's 45 cents. But if we look at this chart, key spot right around the 45 cents. Right here, it tested it. So run at the high here, tested it, false breakout, pullback. Tested it again. So 45, look for that one to break 45, maybe test 50 cents. I could see this one testing 50 cents in the next week sometime. Yeah, that'd be the next area, right around 50 cents. So PTN looks fantastic, A+ setup. ORMP, been watching this one for quite a while. It does look like it wants to get through this consolidation period. It's finally got above 850. Next spot looks like it'd be right at 870, right around 870. So this one, if you can get a push through 870, I think some volume can start coming in, because that'd be a nice, you can see 870 was a high here, a high intraday here, and then here. So 870 looks like a key spot on the daily, and this one could get a nice rally, ORMP. It's a thinner trader, but could get some volume and a big move out of it with some volume. HIMX, nice break, was on the watch list through 860. Nice 2-day run. Looks like it's continuing. Looks like it wants to test this 8 here, 9, and maybe the high over here at 960. But nice breakout there on HIMX. Okay, so let's get into the marijuana stocks now. So CNVX is my current position, and this chart looks like it's ready to kick big time. And if we take a look at this chart, you can see this downtrend here. Let's just kind of draw a line. See this here? Get this nice downtrend, every low, right? So if we take this low here, right, kind of pulled trend line and then made a new low, and then pulled, you know, shot down to a new low, rallied a little bit, new low. So this series of lower lows, lower highs, and then all of a sudden, if you kind of zoom in right in this area here, over the past, say, 90 days or so, you can see it put in a low, rallied, and then put in a higher low. So here's your first sign. Maybe this thing is reversing. Okay. Also, it's in this area of right around $1. And so you can see it broke back above $1, pulled back below, and then broke back above $1 here. So this is like a double bottom pattern, or this one's a little bit higher, but essentially it's kind of a double bottom. And then as it broke through this recent high here, that was a sign that the major trend is reversing, okay? And so I got long at this one at like 116, I think, and I took some profits on it, and then I was looking for a re-entry. So I got back in it at around 120, okay? And what I'm seeing here, if we kind of zoom in even further, is when a stock's in an uptrend, just like in a downtrend, it makes a new low, and then it kind of rallies and then falls and makes a new low. And so that trend is it goes up for several days. You have a brief pullback, and then you make new highs. And so you want to see that stair-stepping tennis ball action where it rests for a few days and it makes new highs. And that's what you're kind of seeing here on this CNBX. Had a big run up, and then pulled back for a couple of days, and then rallied nicely on good volume on Friday. And so this one looks like it's ready to bust through 150, and I do think this one could be going up to 2, maybe even 3, I don't know, over the coming weeks, because it looks like a major trend is changing on this in the marijuana sector. And so CNBX isn't the only one. There's other ones as well, particularly the Canadian marijuana stocks. If we take a look at some of those, ACBFF is one, and so this is a bad tick right here, so it kind of screws the chart up. So, but you can see kind of a similar pattern. Here's the downtrend, and then it starts to right here on this break, and then it just steadily higher. You can see the volume, the green volume coming in right here. Friday's had a nice 7% day on this ACBFF. HQF, another one. See the lower lows, lower highs, and then right here, big break on volume, and then just steadily trending higher. So these Canadian weed plays all still look good. Here was a spot here for a break higher, which you could have got in on there. And then you can see right here, you had a big break, 2 days of rest, new high, break, pull back, and then what you want to see is this thing ramp back up and make a new high, which it looks like it's going to do. TWMJF, another one. Right, here's your nice downtrend. As it broke through that downtrend, starts to grind higher, and then this one looks like it's going to go higher too. And let's see here, there's some other ones. PRRE, this one through 130. Right, you can see it tested it, and then on Friday closed right at 130. So I fully expect this one to get through 130 next week. Once again, thin trader, 30,000 shares, so keep that in mind. It doesn't have a lot of volume, but if volume does come in, you could see this thing shoot up to maybe $1.80 or something. Another one, let's see, GWPH is a listed name, and you can kind of see kind of a similar pattern, downtrend, and then it broke through the downtrend and just grinds higher. So you're seeing strength in the major. GWPH is a major listed stock. You're seeing it in several of the Canadian names, all the Canadian names are turning up. CNBX is probably the best looking domestic cannabis OTC at the moment. And there are some other ones. Let's see. I forget which one it is. Is it PGOE maybe? Let's see. MJNA is one. They could get some momentum too. Let's see if there's some other. Seems like there were some other ones too. CANN doesn't look as good as some of the other ones. No, some of these don't look that great, but yeah, but CNBX, it just has the look. It looks like it's ready to make a move through 150 and then to 2, maybe even 2 plus. So we'll see, what the driver is. TRTC, another one, looks like it may find some support here at the recent breakout level around 2024, and you can see downtrend, nice break right there, rallied, pulled back, and then broke above the recent high. So this one, I would expect this one to hold 24 support, and then turn back up, and then rally somewhere back up here to 30 cents, somewhere in that area. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the cannabis sector. And let's see. Okay, a couple others from last week. This FireEye, nice consolidation, spot at 16. Looks like it wants to get through there. Tested it once, twice, 3, 4 times. So that one looks like it wants to get through 16 in the coming days. Twitter continues to be resilient. Here was the first breakout pattern through this area, and it's just kind of grinded higher. So not in a nice steady uptrend longer term. You can see, if we go back even further, a yearly chart, you know, it's broken through key resistance right around this, you know, high 19s, 20 area. So I think Twitter longer term looks good. I think Twitter is going to be going higher. Okay, CLSD, another great looking biotech, right there at that 10 spot. You can see the pattern there. Right here was 10, and then tested 10, and then it's just kind of grinding. And on Friday, it tried to break through 10, poked its head through, and then pulled back. So if bios rally, which it appears they are, this one could get a nice push through 10. So I like this CLSD. It looks really good. RTRX, another bio. Watch for the 20 break. You know, kind of a bull flag pattern. Tested 20, consolidating. Looks like it wants to bust through 20. Court, here's another one. Broke through 1250. And now it's just kind of consolidating just above 12. And you can see this one make another leg higher if bios rally. Okay, Siri, we already talked about that one. Great looking chart. Okay, ONCE, another biotech. Take a look at this chart. If we go back 2 years, even 3 years, right? So go back 3 years, you can see how important that 65 level spot was. Way back here, what is this? Okay, looks like this was about 2 years ago, a year and a half maybe. Back here, tested 65, tested it again over here 3, 4, 5 times, couldn't break. And then finally, it got through the 65 spot on Friday, this ONCE. So this one, in all likelihood, is going higher, right? Maybe 75 or higher from there. But had a big volume breakout, and it just looks great. And you can see exactly that right there through that 65 spot. So ONCE, a multi-year breakout on good volume, typically indicates that it's going to run for, you know, have a sustained run for several days afterward. Plug. So Plug had some earnings, and it had really broke out big on earnings. And if you take a look at this chart, actually take a look at the longer term chart. So from a 3-year chart, long-term downtrend, and there's some news, I think with Walmart or some big company, and they broke out big, right? And then it kind of pulled back. But longer term, just kind of zoom in. Right there, you can see this was a big breakout day, had a high of 240, tested it again, tried to break it, and then failed. So this 240 spot, if you take a look at the last 100 days, key spot there, tried to break it there, pulled back, tested it again there, couldn't break it, and then on Friday it got through the 240 and closed at 242. So I would expect Plug to be going on a nice multi-day run from here as well on earnings. Typically, these big gap ups is the beginning of a longer-term uptrend, and so if you're patient with this Plug, I do think that Plug's going to play out to the upside and should have a nice sustained movement higher. Okay, Glue Mobile, you can see that 270 resistance, tested it once, twice, 3, and then rallied back and broke above it on Friday. Big volume. So, and once again, from like a profit target perspective, I'd look from the base, average base depth here. So I would take, say, 245 to 270. So what is that? 25 cent target. So take that 270 at 25 cents. So maybe you get a $3 target on this one, first target. This is Glue Mobile. Another similar name in the sector would be Zynga. Similar pattern. Got a key spot resistance there at around 380. So you can see this one's testing a breakout as well. It's good to see. It's always good to see several names in the sector with strength. Gives you more confidence in the trade. So Zynga also looks good. And then last but not least, MTLS. a thin trader, but a very great looking chart. You can see right there, right through 14, ramped up, tested it again, pulled back, tested it. So 1, 2, 3. This will be the fourth time, looks like. And so this one, if it breaks 14, you can use this, say, I would say 12, right? So 12 to 14 is 2 points. So this would give you a $16 price target on this MTLS. Okay, guys, that's all I got for this week. Really like the look of the biotech sector and the marijuana sector for next week. So those will be the areas I'm focusing on. And CNBX is my current position. I'm looking for that one to go to 2+, and also be watching other names in the sector as well as the biotechs. So hope you guys have a good Sunday, and we'll see you tomorrow.